The scent of him is the first thing that truly breaks through my terror. Pine needles after a winter storm, crisp and powerful and clean. It cuts through the cloying sweetness of the ceremonial incense and the stifling weight of the silks they've wrapped me in. He is Alpha King Kyle, and I am Alara, the wolfless Omega from the northern province, brought to the capital as a political treaty made flesh. Today, on my 18th birthday, I am to be his bride, a queen in name, a bargaining chip in truth. My hands tremble, and I press them into the heavy silver brocade of my gown, hoping no one sees. They lead me down the aisle of the great hall, a cavern of stone and echoing silence. Hundreds of faces turn to watch, the powerful alphas and betas of the Stormcrest Kingdom. Their scents are a confusing miasma of curiosity, pity, and contempt. Omega. Wolfless. The words are unspoken, but I feel them like stones pelted against my skin. I have felt them my entire life. In my village, I was an outcast, a flaw in the pack dynamic. To be without a wolf is to be less than whole, a ghost in a world of vibrant primal life. Then my eyes land on him, standing before the High Elder on the dais. Kyle. He is everything the legends say. Tall, broad-shouldered, with hair the color of midnight and eyes like chips of ice. Power radiates from him, a physical pressure that makes the air crackle. He does not smile. His jaw is a hard line of regal duty. I am a task to be completed, a box to be checked in the long list of responsibilities that come with a crown. My heart, a foolish, fluttering bird, sinks. As I reach the dais, his gaze finally meets mine. For a single, shattering moment, the world falls away. The ice in his eyes melts, replaced by a flash of stunned recognition. The scent of pine and winter intensifies, wrapping around me, pulling me in. It's not just pleasant anymore. It's essential. Like air after being held underwater for too long. A jolt, electric and profound, shoots through my body, straight to the core of my soul. Deep within the empty space where my wolf should be, something stirs. A faint, sleepy whisper. Mate. The word is a shock, a fantasy I never dared to entertain. Fated mates are the stuff of songs, a sacred, unbreakable bond gifted by the moon goddess herself, and it is happening to me, to the wolfless Omega. A wave of impossible hope washes over me, so potent it makes me dizzy. I see a flicker of the same awe on his face. His nostrils flare, taking in my scent, wild honey and rain-soaked earth, a scent I've always been told was too muted, too Omega. But he smells it. He knows. The High Elder begins the rite, his voice droning on about duty and lineage. Kyle never takes his eyes off me, and the intensity of his stare is a brand against my skin. The hope inside me grows, unfurling like a spring blossom. Perhaps this is not a political prison. Perhaps it is a miracle. He will be my mate. He will protect me. I will finally belong. The ceremony ends. He lifts my veil, his fingers brushing my cheek. The touch is lightning. He leans in, and for a breathless second, I think he will kiss me, claim me before the entire kingdom. Instead, his lips brush my forehead, a gesture so cold and formal it feels like a dismissal. The crowd cheers, but the sound is distant. The chill of his touch remains. Later in the royal chambers, the hope that had bloomed begins to wither. The rooms are vast and opulent, but they feel like a cage. He stands by the large arched window, staring out at the moonlit city, his back to me. The scent of him is still a potent lure, but now it's laced with something else. Conflict, resignation. The Elder Council, 5 stern figures robed in gray, stand silently by the hearth. Their presence is a cold stone in the pit of my stomach. This is not how a mating night is supposed to be. Ilara, Kyle says, his voice a low rumble that vibrates through the floor. He turns, and the ice is back in his eyes, colder and harder than before. The awe I saw during the ceremony is gone, replaced by a stony resolve. The union has been witnessed. The treaty is sealed. I nod, my throat too tight to speak. I don't understand. The bond between us is a living thing, a tangible cord of light and heat stretching across the room. I can feel his inner beast, a great black wolf pacing the confines of his soul, desperate to close the distance between us. Mate, ours. I can almost hear its powerful growl. However, he continues, and the word hangs in the air, sharp as a guillotine's blade. The treaty requires a union. It does not require a mating. My blood runs cold. The faint whisper inside me whimpers. I don't understand, Your Majesty. He takes a step forward, his expression unreadable. This kingdom needs a strong queen, a queen with a powerful wolf, capable of producing true alpha heirs. It needs a partner for its king, not a weakness. Each word is a carefully aimed dart. The council members watch, their faces grim masks of approval. This was planned. I am your mate, I whisper, the words tasting of desperation. It is my only truth, my only claim. The goddess chose me. The goddess, he says, his voice dropping to a growl, laced with something that sounds almost like pain, was mistaken. He stops before me, close enough that I can feel the heat radiating from his body. The scent of pine and winter is a cruel torment. He reaches out, not to touch me, but to gesture to the room around us, to the crown I am not yet wearing. I am a king first, Ilara. Before I am a man, before I am a wolf. My duty is to my people, and my duty dictates that I cannot and will not bind myself to a wolfless Omega. The word wolfless is a slap. The word Omega is a condemnation. The pain of it is a physical blow, a phantom knife twisting in my gut. The bond between us shrieks, a high, thin sound of tearing fabric. No! The voice inside me screams, no longer a whisper. The High Elder steps forward, holding an ancient silver-etched bowl. By the ancient law, an Alpha King may refuse a mate deemed unfit to rule, if the refusal is declared before the moon sets on the night of the union. It is a mercy to sever the bond before it can truly form, to prevent a lifetime of imbalance. Mercy? This feels like an execution. Kyle looks at me, and for a fleeting instant, I see a crack in his icy facade, a flicker of raw agony. His wolf is fighting him, clawing at him from the inside. But then, it is gone, buried beneath layers of duty and pride. He turns to the elder. I, Alpha King Kyle of the Stormcrest Kingdom, do hereby reject this union, he proclaims, his voice ringing with finality. I declare Ilara of the Northern Province unfit to be my mate and queen. The world dissolves into a searing, white-hot agony. It is not just my heart that breaks, it is my soul. The bond, that beautiful, vibrant cord that had connected us, snaps. The recoil throws me back a step, and I gasp, clutching my chest as if I've been impaled. The scent of him turns to ash and smoke in my lungs. The whisper inside my soul goes silent, extinguished. And as she is now a woman without connection, without a pack, and without purpose to this kingdom, Kale continues, his voice devoid of all emotion, she cannot remain within these walls. By royal decree, she is exiled. She will be taken to the blighted lands at dawn. A collective gasp ripples through the council. The blighted lands, a desolate, cursed wasteland on the kingdom's furthest border, where nothing grows and no one survives. It is a death sentence. I stare at him. the man who is my mate, my other half, the man who is casting me out to die. I search his face for any sign of remorse, any hint of the connection we shared just hours ago. I find nothing but the cold, hard mask of a king. My hope, my foolish, desperate hope, finally dies, and in its place, a cold, hard numbness begins to settle. I will not give them the satisfaction of my tears. I lift my chin, meeting his gaze one last time, and let the emptiness swallow me whole. Dawn comes, gray and unforgiving. They do not even let me change out of the ruined wedding dress, now a symbol of my humiliation. Two guards haul me from the chambers and through the service tunnels of the castle, avoiding the main halls. I am a secret shame to be disposed of quickly. They put me on a cart, my hands bound, and we travel for days toward the border. The pain in my chest is a constant physical weight, a hollow cavern where my soul used to be. The rejection has left a wound that does not bleed, but festers. When we reach the edge of the blighted lands, the guards cut my bonds and shove me off the cart into the dust. Go on, one of them spits. The king was merciful. This is a quicker death than the axe. They turn the cart and leave without a backward glance. I am alone. Before me stretches a landscape of gray dust, skeletal trees, and cracked earth. The air is thin and smells of decay. There is no bird song, no sign of life. This is where I will die. I walk for what feels like hours, the torn silk of my gown catching on thorny dead bushes. The sun beats down, then the cold of night descends, a chilling, absolute cold that seeps into my bones. I find a small overhang of rock and huddle beneath it, shivering. Hunger gnaws at my belly, thirst cracks my lips. The hollow ache in my chest is the worst part. It is a constant reminder of what I lost, of the mate who discarded me. Days blur into a haze of misery. I grow weaker, my body shutting down. This is it. This is rock bottom. Lying on the cold, hard ground, staring up at a starless sky, I feel the last of my strength leaving me. It would be so easy to just close my eyes, to let the emptiness take me completely. But as I lie on the precipice of death, something shifts. Deep within the hollow space inside me, a tiny ember sparks. It is not hope. It is rage. Pure, incandescent rage. Rage at Kale. Rage at the council. Rage at a world that deemed me worthless. He thought I was weak. He threw me away because I was wolfless. I will not prove him right. I will not die like this. I force myself to sit up, my body screaming in protest. A strange energy floods my veins, warm and tingling. I look down at my hands, and I see it. A faint, silvery light is glowing from my palms, pulsing in time with my furious heartbeat. It is weak, but it is there. It is mine. A power I never knew I possessed. In the desolate wasteland where I was sent to be forgotten, something inside me has just begun to wake up. And with that awakening comes a single, defiant thought that burns away the despair. I will survive. 3 years later, the woman who was Alara is gone. I am a creature of the blighted lands now, forged in its harshness. The silver gown is a distant memory, replaced by hardened leathers, pieced together from the strange, tough-hided beasts that roam this wasteland. My hair, once bound in courtly styles, hangs wild and long down my back, bleached near white by the relentless sun. My skin is covered in a tapestry of scars, each one a lesson learned, a battle won. I am no longer soft. I am no longer weak. The silver light that flickered in my hands that first night is now a current I can command. It is lunar magic, a gift of the moon itself, or so the old woman told me. I found her, or perhaps she found me, a year into my exile. Anya was a seer, banished by Kyle's father for a prophecy he did not like. She lived in a hidden canyon where a sliver of life still clung to existence. She saw the light in me and knew what I was. "You are not wolfless, child," she had rasped, her eyes like polished obsidian. "You are a lunar lichen, an older, purer strain. Your wolf does not answer the call of simple bloodlines. It sleeps, waiting for the soul to be tempered by fire, waiting for the celestial convergence to awaken it." For 2 years, she trained me. I learned to draw power from the moon, to weave light into shields and blades. I learned the secret language of the blighted lands, the ways of its creatures, the hidden sources of water, the edible roots. I learned to fight, to hunt, to kill. I was no Omega. Anya taught me that the titles of Alpha, Beta, and Omega were constructs of the new Pax. My kind were simply lichens, a balance of primal beast and honed mind. Then, 6 months ago, the heavens aligned, the celestial convergence. The night sky blazed with a second moon, a ghost moon of pure silver light. Anya led me to a flat-topped mesa and had me meditate as the light washed over me. The pain was excruciating, a feeling of being torn apart and remade. The dormant space inside me erupted. It was not a whisper this time, but a seismic roar. A creature of silver fire and raw power uncoiled within my soul, and for the first time, I felt whole. My wolf was awake. When I shifted, the form I took was not that of a common wolf. I was larger, sleeker, with a coat of pure silver that seemed to drink the moonlight. My strength was immense, my speed unnatural. "Power," she growled in my mind, her voice a deep, resonant hum that was now a permanent part of my consciousness. Ours. We were one. My new power did not go unnoticed. The blighted lands were not as empty as the kingdom believed. They were a refuge for outcasts, rogues, and exiles. They saw the light I commanded. They saw the great silver wolf I had become. They were drawn to my strength, but they stayed for the fairness I showed them. I did not rule with fear, as they were used to. I built a community. We became the Moonshadow Pack, a pack of the forgotten, and they chose me as their alpha. My new status felt more real, more earned than the title of queen ever could have. We are hunting near the eastern ridge when one of my scouts, a lean wolf named Jax, comes streaking through the dust-choked canyons. His scent is sharp with alarm. He shifts back to his human form as he reaches me, his chest heaving. Alpha Ilara, creatures, at the border, like nothing I've ever seen. I follow him to the ridge and look down. In the twilight, I see them. Shadowy beasts, vaguely canine, but with too many joints and eyes that glow with a malevolent violet light. They move with a horrifying, unnatural coordination, pouring out of a fissure in the earth. The Umbra, the ancient enemy my teacher, Anya, had warned me of. She said they were drawn to discord and weakness, that they fed on despair. They were pushing into the fertile lands, Kale's lands. A bitter smile touches my lips. It seems the great Alpha King has a problem. My wolf stirs within me, her senses on high alert. Threat, darkness. "Gather the warriors," I command, my voice calm and clear. "We make our stand here. Nothing crosses this ridge. My pack, my people, are all that matter now. The kingdom that cast me out can burn for all I care. My life now is a constant, waking torment. 3 years have passed since I sent her away, and each day is a new circle of hell. My wolf, Tyr, is a feral beast trapped in my soul, and his rage is directed solely at me. You broke us. He snarls in my mind, a relentless chorus of accusation. You threw away our soul. Fool. Coward. We are at war with each other, and the battleground is my own body. I barely sleep. When I do, my dreams are haunted by a pair of honey-brown eyes, filled with a betrayal so profound it suffocates me. The bond, severed as it was, did not die. It festers. It is a raw, open wound in my chest that never heals. Every breath is a reminder of her absence. The scent of other females is repulsive, turning my stomach. My alpha power feels hollow, my commands brittle. The kingdom feels it. The harvests are poor, the winters harsher. A creeping blight spreads from the eastern border, a darkness that mirrors the one in my own heart. The elder council murmurs that the land is reflecting the king's broken spirit. They are right. Then the reports begin. Attacks on our border patrols. Warriors found torn to pieces, their bodies drained of life. The survivors speak of creatures made of shadow and nightmare, the umbra of forgotten legends. They are coming from the blighted lands, her lands. I become obsessed with the reports from that forsaken place. I send spies, not to harm her, but just to know. To know if she is alive. The reports that come back are unbelievable. They speak of a new pack, the Moonshadow Pack, comprised of rogues and outcasts. They are thriving in a land where none should. They are led by a warrior queen, a silver-haired woman who can wield moonlight as a weapon and commands a wolf of impossible size and speed. My heart seizes in my chest. Ilara. She survived. She did not just survive. She conquered the very place I sent her to die. The shame is a physical poison in my veins. I stand on the battlements, staring east, when my general, Lord Valerius, approaches. His face is grim. Your Majesty, we lost another patrol. The Umbra are organized. They are pushing past the border. We cannot hold them back. Send more warriors, I growl, my own voice sounding foreign to my ears. We have, Valerius says, his tone carefully neutral. They are being slaughtered. But there is other news. The Umbra's advance seems to stop at one particular point, at the territory claimed by this new Moonshadow Pack. They are not just surviving the attacks, Your Majesty. They are winning. I close my eyes. The truth, a bitter pill. I, the great Alpha King, am failing. My kingdom is crumbling, and the only person who seems to have the strength to fight this darkness is the woman I declared weak and threw away. The irony is a cruel joke played by the goddess I scorned. We must ask for their help, Valerius says quietly, voicing the thought I have been desperately avoiding. My pride roars in protest, but Tyr, my wolf, surges with a desperate, unfamiliar emotion. Hope. Mate. Find her. Make it right. For the first time in 3 years, my wolf and I are in agreement on something. The thought of seeing her again is both terrifying and agonizingly necessary. I need to see her. I need to know that the powerful queen from the stories is real. I need to face the ghost that has haunted my every waking moment. Prepare a delegation, I say, my voice hoarse. I will go myself. I must face the ruin I have made. I must look into the eyes of the woman I betrayed and beg for her help. We thrive under the light of the moon. My pack is strong, and we have held the Umbra back from our territory for weeks. But I can feel their power growing, the darkness pressing in. It is a coordinated entity, intelligent and malevolent. Anya's warnings echo in my mind. They seek to unravel the world, to swallow the light. In the midst of this, another pack has settled nearby. Their alpha, Liam, is a stark contrast to the king I remember. He is quiet, steady, with kind eyes and a scent of warm earth and cedar. It is a safe scent. He came seeking an alliance, but his interest in me is more than political. He looks at me, not as a symbol or a tool, but as a woman, a leader. He treats me with a respect I have never known. You have built something remarkable, Ilara, he says one evening as we watch the moon rise over our encampment. You gave hope to the hopeless. We survived, I reply, my tone clipped. I am not used to praise. You did more than that. You created a home. He takes a hesitant step closer. My pack would be honored to join yours, to serve under your command, and I would be honored to stand by your side. It is a logical choice. An alliance would make us stronger. A mate like Liam would be a comfort. A partner. He is a good man. He deserves a good answer. But as I look at him, my heart feels nothing but a quiet appreciation. My wolf is silent, unimpressed. Not mate, she rumbles. A low, possessive growl deep inside me. The ghost of a bond, the memory of pine and winter storms, still holds me captive, whether I like it or not. Before I can answer him, Jax appears at the edge of the camp, his posture rigid. Alpha, a delegation is approaching. From the west, they fly the royal standard of the Stormcrest Kingdom. Ice floods my veins. Kale, he is here. My wolf rears up, a tempest of fury and a desperate, traitorous longing. He comes. Kingbreaker. Ours. I school my features into a mask of cold indifference, a mask I have perfected over 3 years. I will not let him see how his presence undoes me. Let them approach, I say, my voice steady, but make sure they know who is in charge here. I stand at the entrance to my camp, flanked by my 10 best warriors. I wear my scarred leathers and silver-inlaid armor. My silver wolf, Luna, is a powerful presence at the forefront of my mind, lending me her strength. I am not the trembling girl in a wedding dress. I am the alpha of the Moon Shadow Pack. I am a queen in my own right. The delegation comes into view, a small party of royal guards led by a tall figure on a black warhorse, Kyle. Even from a distance, his presence is a physical blow. As he draws closer, his scent hits me, pine and winter's storm. My traitorous body remembers it, craves it. The broken bond between us screams to life, a phantom limb aching with memory. It is a torrent of shared pain, of his regret and my fury, a storm raging in the space between us. I brace myself against it, holding my ground. He dismounts, his eyes finding mine immediately. The kingly arrogance is still there, but it is tempered by something else, a haunted, desperate look. He is thinner than I remember, with dark circles under his eyes that speak of sleepless nights. Good. I hope he has not slept a single, peaceful night in 3 years. His gaze sweeps over me, taking in the leathers, the scars, the confidence in my posture. I see the shock register on his face, the dawning realization that the girl he threw away is well and truly gone. Ilara, he breathes, his voice rough with emotion. It is Alpha Ilara, I correct him, my tone as cold as the grave I was supposed to be in. State your purpose. You are on my land. He flinches as if struck. His guards shift uncomfortably. He is the Alpha King. No one speaks to him this way. The raw power that always surrounded him rolls off him in waves, an instinctual attempt to dominate. It is the Alpha Command, the force that can bring lesser wolves to their knees. It washes over me, and I feel nothing. My own power, born of moonlight and survival, is a shield he cannot breach. It simply flows around me. I see the disbelief in his eyes as his command fails. The power dynamic has irrevocably shifted. He is a king without authority here. I am a queen in my element. We need your help, he says, the words clearly costing him a great deal of his pride. The kingdom is under attack. By the Umbra. The kingdom? I ask, letting a cold, humorless smile touch my lips. The kingdom that cast me out to die. Why should its fate be of any concern to me? The question hangs between us, sharp and deadly. I watch him, enjoying the torment on his face, enjoying the way his wolf is surely clawing at him to kneel, to beg, to do anything to bridge the chasm he created between us. He opened this wound. Now he will watch it bleed. Kyle's face is a mask of controlled agony. It is not for the kingdom's sake I ask, he says, his voice low and strained. Or for mine. The Umbra will not stop at our borders. They will consume everything. Your people will not be safe forever. He is right, and I know it. My scouts have reported the Umbra massing, their numbers swelling. They are a plague that will not be contained. My pack's safety depends on stopping this threat, not just repelling it. My personal feelings for the man before me cannot be a factor. Duty. It is a bitter word, one he used as a shield for his cruelty. Now, I must use it as my own. I will consider an alliance, I say, my voice leaving no room for argument. On my terms. You and a small honor guard will remain here, in my camp. You will share all your intelligence on the Umbra. You will follow my commands. Here, you are not a king. You are a guest and a supplicant. Do you agree to these terms? His jaw tightens. To subject himself to my authority is the ultimate humiliation for an alpha king. I can see the war in his eyes, his pride battling his desperation. His wolf, I know, is screaming at him to agree. Ours. Say yes. Fix this. Finally, with a stiff formal nod, he speaks the word that seals his submission. I agree. The days that follow are a study in exquisite tension. Kyle and his 5 guards are given yurts at the edge of the camp, separate from my people. He is a ghost at our strategy meetings, watching me with those haunted ice chip eyes. He watches me train my warriors, his expression a mixture of awe and self-loathing. He sees the loyalty my pack gives me, the love and respect they show. He sees everything he threw away. The forced proximity is a torment for us both. The bond, raw and broken, yanks at us constantly. Sometimes I'll turn and find him staring, his scent thick with regret, and a longing so potent it makes my knees weak. I fight it, wrapping my cold fury around me like a shroud. I cannot afford to feel anything for him. I cannot forget the girl he left to die in the dust. Liam watches our interactions, his face growing more somber each day. He sees the invisible current that flows between me and Kal, the storm of unresolved history that no one else can touch. He sees the way Kale's eyes follow me, the way my body tenses whenever he is near. One night, Kale seeks me out. I am standing on the overlook, gazing at the moon, drawing its calm strength into myself. I sense him approach, his footsteps heavy on the rock. I never knew, he begins, his voice raspy. He stops a respectful distance away. About your power, about what you truly were. You never bothered to find out, I retort, without looking at him. You saw an Omega and passed judgment. I was a fool, he says, the words raw. A proud, arrogant fool, blinded by the council's whispers and my own fears. I was afraid of a weak queen, a weak bloodline. I listened to duty instead of my own soul, instead of my wolf. He takes a hesitant step closer. There has not been a day, not a single moment in 3 years, that I have not regretted it. The pain of what I did, it is a fire that never stops burning. I see your face when I close my eyes. I hear your voice in the wind. I broke the most sacred law of our people. I broke myself. I broke us. I turned to face him then, my arms crossed over my chest. Your regret does not heal my scars, Kale. Your pain does not erase mine. I know, he says, his voice breaking. And then he does the one thing I never expected. The Alpha King of the Stormcrest Kingdom, the most powerful wolf on the continent, sinks to his knees before me. He lowers his head, baring the vulnerable line of his throat in the ultimate gesture of submission. I do not ask for your forgiveness, Ilara. I have no right. I do not deserve it. I ask only for this. Allow me to fight for you. Allow me to die for you, if it comes to that. My life is forfeit. It has been yours since the moment I sent you away. Command me, and I will obey. Punish me, and I will accept it. End me, and I will thank you for the mercy. I stare down at him, my heart hammering against my ribs. The sight of him, so powerful, so proud, brought to his knees in the dirt before me, is staggering. This is the grovel. This is the surrender. It is more than I ever imagined. The cold armor around my heart cracks, just a little. Later that night, Liam finds me by the fire. His expression is gentle, but sad. I saw him, he says quietly. The king, at your feet. I say nothing, just stare into the flames. I cannot compete with that, he continues, his voice filled with a quiet dignity. A fated bond, even one that has been broken, is a force of nature. He is your storm, Ilara. I was only ever meant to be a harbor, but you were born to command the tempests, not hide from them. He reaches out and gently touches my arm. You deserve to be someone's one and only choice, not their safe second option. My people and I will leave in the morning. We will guard the western flank, but your battle, it must be fought with him. I watch him walk away, a pang of regret for the simple, peaceful life I could have had with him. But he is right. Kale is my storm, and he is a storm I must face. Our combined intelligence reveals the source of the Umbra's power. A shadow weaver, an ancient entity, is using a corrupted lunar monolith at the heart of the Blighted Lands to amplify its power. His goal is to create a permanent eclipse, a world of endless night where the Umbra can reign supreme. The monolith is also the source of my own power. We must reclaim it or all is lost. The final battle is a chaotic nightmare of shadows and silver light. My pack and Kale's warriors fight side by side, a union of wild rogues and disciplined soldiers. I am at the forefront, a whirlwind of silver energy, my lichen form a terrifying specter of death to the shadow creatures. Kale fights near me, his massive black wolf a force of pure physical power guarding my flank. For the first time, we move as one, our instincts perfectly aligned. The bond between us is a channel of shared strength, each of us drawing on the other's power. We fight our way to the monolith. It is a towering spire of black obsidian, pulsing with a sickening violet light. Before it stands the Shadow Weaver, a being of nightmare, tall and skeletal, wrapped in living darkness. The little moon witch, the weaver hisses, its voice like grinding stone. It ignores Call completely, its glowing eyes fixed on me. You have your mother's light. She also thought she could defy the dark. I will enjoy extinguishing you as I did her. My mother. The word stuns me. The weaver senses my shock and lunges, its shadowy claws extended. Kyle intercepts it, his wolf roaring with a fury that shakes the ground. They clash, a whirlwind of black fur and roiling shadow. But the weaver is too strong, too ancient. It swats Kale aside, sending him crashing into the rock wall. It turns its attention back to me. It knows I am the key. As it advances, it speaks again, its voice projecting across the battlefield, a poisonous offer aimed at the man struggling to his feet. Alpha King, your kingdom is dying. Your people are falling. Surrender her to me. Give me the lunar lichen, and I will call off my armies. I will spare your precious kingdom. A small price to pay for survival, no? I freeze, my blood running cold. This is the ultimate test. His kingdom, his sacred duty, the very reason he gave for rejecting me, laid bare before him. The old Kyle, the king who chose duty over his mate, would have considered it. He would have sacrificed the Omega to save the many. My heart clenches, waiting for the betrayal that feels inevitable. Kyle gets to his feet, blood dripping from a gash on his head. He looks from the Weaver to me, his eyes blazing with a fierce, protective light I have never seen before. Then he throws his head back and laughs, a raw, defiant sound. You think my kingdom is my price? He snarls, his voice filled with contempt. My kingdom is nothing. My life is nothing. She is everything. With a roar, he charges, not at the Weaver, but at me. For a split second, I think he means to attack me, to take the choice out of my hands. But he doesn't stop. He throws himself in front of me, just as the Shadow Weaver unleashes a bolt of pure, concentrated shadow, a lance of darkness meant to extinguish my light forever. Kyle takes the full force of the blow in his chest. He cries out, a sound of pure agony, and the impact throws him backward into my arms. He collapses, his great wolf form shrinking back into his human shape. A gaping, black wound smokes in the center of his chest, not bleeding, but consuming him from within. No, I whisper, sinking to the ground with him, cradling his head in my lap. The bond between us is screaming, a keening wail of death and despair. Tyr, his wolf, is fading. Ours. Protect. He looks up at me, his icy eyes softening, a faint pained smile on his lips. I am glad, he whispers, his breath ragged. My life, to save yours, a worthy end. Forgive me, Ilara. His eyes flutter closed. His breathing stops. He is gone. And in the silent, echoing space of his death, the last of the ice around my heart shatters into a million pieces. The anger, the bitterness, the pride I had clung to for 3 years, it all melts away, leaving only a devastating, soul-crushing truth. I cannot live in a world without him. My fury was just the other side of my love, a shield against the pain of wanting him. Seeing him sacrifice everything for me, proving with his last breath that he had truly changed, that he loved me more than his crown, more than his life. It changes everything. I make my choice. It is not a choice of forgiveness. Forgiveness is too small a word. It is a choice of acceptance. I accept him, his flaws, his mistakes, his sacrifice. I accept that he is the other half of my soul, and without him, I am incomplete. I lean down, pressing my forehead against his, which is already growing cold. Tears stream down my face, glowing with a faint silver light as they trace paths through the grime and blood. I pour all my pain, all my love, all my power into the bond between us. I, Ilara of the Moonshadow Pack, accept you, Kale of the Stormcrest Kingdom. I say, my voice ringing with an ancient power I didn't know I possessed. The words are a vow, an incantation. I claim you as my mate, now and forever. The moment the words leave my lips, the world explodes in a flash of silver light. The bond, broken and frayed, does not just mend, it reforges. tempered in the fires of pain and sacrifice, coming back 1,000 times stronger, a brilliant, unbreakable conduit between our souls. My lunar magic, raw and untamed, floods his body. It pours into the black hole in his chest, fighting back the shadow, stitching together flesh and spirit. Kale gasps, his eyes flying open. They are no longer just ice blue. They are swirling with silver light, my light. He takes a deep, shuddering breath, and the wound on his chest closes, leaving behind a jagged starburst scar. He is alive. We are one. We rise together, a single, fluid motion. Power radiates from us, a vortex of storm and moonlight, of primal strength and celestial magic. His hand finds mine, our fingers lacing together, and it feels like coming home. The Shadow Weaver stumbles back, its shadowy form flickering, its confidence shattered. It has never faced a fully realized mate bond between an Alpha King and a lunar lichen. We are something new, something it cannot comprehend. You are the darkness that feeds on despair, I say, my voice harmonizing with Kal's, speaking as one. But you have no power here, not anymore. We raise our joined hands, and a torrent of silver and black energy, a perfect union of our powers, erupts from us. It strikes the Shadow Weaver, and the ancient entity screams, its form dissolving like smoke in the wind. The energy washes over the corrupted monolith, cleansing it, and a wave of pure silver light expands across the entire blighted lands, disintegrating the Umbra, healing the cracked earth, and bringing the promise of new life. The battle is won. In the aftermath, our two packs, exhausted and battered, look at us with awe. Kale steps forward, his hand still holding mine. He addresses his surviving warriors and the Elder Council, who look on in stunned silence. Alara is not my queen, he announces, his voice booming with a power that is now whole, resonant, and absolute. She is your queen, the Lunar Queen. We will not rule one after the other, but side by side, as equals. Her word is my word. Her law is my law. We are two halves of a whole, and so is this kingdom. There are no objections. No one would dare. They have all witnessed a power beyond their understanding. They have seen a king reborn and a queen claim her throne not through birthright, but through fire, strength, and grace. Months later, I stand on the grand balcony of the royal castle, the same balcony Kyle stood on the night he rejected me. The air is cool and smells of pine and the promise of rain. The lands below are healing, patches of green breaking through the gray dust of the blighted lands, which are no longer blighted. Our people, the Stormcrest Wolves and the Moonshadow Pack, are slowly, cautiously becoming one. Kyle comes to stand behind me, his arms wrapping around my waist, his chin resting on my shoulder. His warmth is a comforting weight, his presence a steady anchor for my soul. The bond between us is a quiet, constant hum of contentment. My wolf, Luna, and his wolf, Tyr, are finally at peace, their inner voices purring in harmony. Ours, home, forever. He gently touches the jagged scar on his chest, a permanent reminder of his sacrifice. I reach up and touch his hand, my own invisible scars aching with a faint phantom pain. We are not the people we were. We are not perfect. We are marked by our past, shaped by our pain. But we are whole. I never thought this was possible. He murmurs into my hair, his voice thick with emotion. To feel this complete. You are my queen, my mate, my salvation. I lean back into his embrace, turning my head to look at him. The ice in his eyes has melted for good, replaced by a warm, deep blue that holds nothing but adoration for me. A small smile touches my lips. And you, Kyle, I say softly, are the king who learned to kneel. He closes his eyes, a look of profound peace on his face, and presses his forehead to my temple. The storm has passed, and in its wake, we have found our quiet harbor, together. Our reign is just beginning, built not on old laws and blind duty, but on the enduring strength of a bond that was broken, reforged, and earned.